Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a very exciting day. I am going to tackle reorganizing my bookshelf. It is a rainy Friday. I am done with work. My husband is out of the house with my youngest. My oldest is in her room as per usual. And I'm by myself up in my office. So this is literally the perfect opportunity for me to tackle my bookshelf. So the plan is I am going to take everything off of my bookshelf. I'm going to reorganize it and kind of figure out a way to make it make more sense and allow me more space to put books, because currently, specifically this column right here, the really colorful books are my romance shelf, and this column I cannot fit any more books, and I've started just stacking books on top of each other, and they're not in any kind of order really, and so I want to reorganize it. So that is the plan. We're going to see how long this literally takes me. I'm hoping it doesn't take me long, because the last time I counted all of my books, I was in the like 200 range. So I don't have as much as others, but I also don't have, a small amount of books. I think I have a decent amount of books for the quantity of books that I read per year. So I think this falls in line with what I would expect. So with 200 plus books, I don't know how long it's going to take. So that is what we're going to do now. But the first thing I do want to do is I want to walk through my bookshelf as it stands and kind of talk about why it doesn't work and what I want to do going forward. So we're going to jump over to the bookshelf now so we can talk about what I have and what my plans are for the books that I currently have and what I currently have on my shelf. So let's do that first. Okay, so this is what my bookshelf currently looks like. We're going to first kind of talk about what I have on this column and work our way that way. So on this little column is basically just a bunch of knickknacks. This originally, I didn't plan on having a lot of books. This was going to be where I had some like decorations, some plants. I do have at the very bottom right here, those are some comic books that are like mine, Supergirl, Harley Quinn, that kind of thing. And then these over here are like book sleeve and just stuff. And then everything else is pretty much just decorations or plants. So this needs to be where some of the books shift over to. This column, I have a dead plant. I don't know what it was. This is a new money plant. The old money plant that I had is downstairs, and I bought a new one, and I cannot keep it alive to save my life. So this plant is probably going to be leaving very soon. Okay, I had to change my mic, so hopefully it sounds better. So along with my dead plant, I do have, these are my small collection of classics. I do plan on moving those over. This column, or this little shelf right here, is like my mystery thriller / fantasy. This is kind of like a hodgepodge. This whole row is kind of just a hodgepodge of stuff. So this is like fiction-ish, cozy fantasy, regular fantasy. And then this is my Brandon Sanderson shelf, along with some other like fiction books. And then down here is my young adult. And then we have my new Harry Potters. And then I have a couple Harry Potter like little toys and stuff. So these are going to be moved over in this row, along with kind of intermixing some decorations. So that's the plan for this. And then these two shelves are all of my young, like fantasy books, fantasy, romantasy, that type of thing. So these are all gonna have to be spread out, and I do wanna use some of them over here. So I'm basically gonna be shifting things around to hopefully make more sense. They are in alphabetical order for the most part. So that's what these two shelves look like. And then this shelf is my romance shelf. And like I said, this is the one that needs the most help, because I literally only have one shelf, but I like a lot of romance and I just can't fit them in here. So you can see I have right here just a bunch of authors stuck on top of each other. And then I have the Anna Huang here. And then these are Abby Jimenez. I have some Magnolia Parks. And then down here, Lucy Score, Elsie Silver, and then Bryn Weaver. Like they're all kind of I'm having to shove them in whatever space I can because I just don't have enough room to try to make them nicely. I just can't make it nice. So this is what's prompting me to make changes to my bookshelf. And then this whole column is just like nothingness. So we have my decoration, like my decorative plant up top. This is all of my like old planners, and then my Tombows, mild liners, and things like that. My thought is for these, I do have on the other side of my office a little cubed storage place. So I'm probably gonna end up moving those over there. This shelf is kind of my already read and then my like monthly TBR. So this middle shelf is kind of where I use, like put all of the books that I'm currently reading for the month. This is again washi for planners. I have some batteries and like cords and stuff that needs to go someplace. My headset and then charging. And then down here is if I buy any new books, I usually end up putting them down there. That is what my bookshelf currently looks like as it stands right now. So now we're gonna take everything off, and I do have a duster. We're going to dust, and then we're going to try to figure out how to make it make sense. So, yay. That's what we're gonna do. Hopefully. Crossing fingers. Okay, hopefully lighting is not horrible. I'm literally standing above, right below my light. I look like I'm going to heaven. So, now we're gonna take everything off and see what it looks like bare. So, let's do that now. Okay, so I have my far left shelf done. I did leave my Alexa stop, and I have a like digital picture frame that I still want to leave right up there. I'm probably end up taking it down because I don't know if I want to move it, but I am planning on all of my comic books. I do have above this couch 2 floating shelves that I have currently like some like Blu-ray DVDs of Twilight, and then I have Harry Potter up there as well. I think that's what that is. But I think I'm gonna put my comic books up there because I don't really have a lot of them, and I don't plan on buying that many more. So I'm not gonna put those on my bookshelf. Those are gonna be going up there, and I'm gonna do that a little bit later. But I did go ahead and clean off this shelf. And now what my plan is, I'm gonna take all of these books and kind of put them sporadically. I'm probably gonna have just one shelf of Brandon Sanderson because I do want to buy more of his books. And then I do want to have I might end up having this same layout over here, possibly. I might end up doing a little bit different. I might have a little bit more space between some of the sections just so I can have some decorative stuff to fill in. But I'm just now going to plan on just taking all of the current books that are on this shelf and move them over here, and then leave some space between the different sections. So that's my plan for this shelf, and that will clear out this. So we're gonna try to do it like in sections. I feel like if I took everything off of my bookshelf all at once, it would be too overwhelming and I wouldn't know where to start. So because I know things need to shift, then I think it makes more sense to do column by column. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna just put this to the side because I meant to give this as an unhaul. I'm not going to want to read this again. I did read it, but it's a mass market paperback and I do not like the size. And so I think I'm just gonna put this to the side and I'm gonna unhaul this. So we're not gonna put this on the shelf. Okay, so this shelf is going to be like fiction, mystery, fantasy-ish. So I had to put them in all in alphabetical order because they were all out of order. And I might end up getting rid of, there's some of these books that I've had for quite a while that I'm probably going to unhaul pretty soon, because I don't want to keep books on my bookshelf if I don't plan on ever reading it, I don't need to keep it. So these might end up being reduced a little bit because like God Killer, I tried to read already and I couldn't get through it. Like I didn't even get halfway and I had to stop because I just couldn't get into it. So I'm probably going to unhaul some of these at some point, but this is what the shelf looks like. And now we're just going to take Brandon Sanderson and put him down here. And then we're going to put the young adult, like Harry Potter stuff, or middle grade. That's not young adult, middle grade. We're going to put that down on the bottom shelf. So that's going to be everything on this shelf. And I do plan on, once I read these are going to go away. And if I like them, I'll try to get them in full version. I absolutely, if you've not seen any of my videos, I hate mass market paperback. And I've noticed that like at Sam's Club and other, like Sam's Club and Costco, both are putting out brand new editions of books in mass market paperback. I don't know why. I hate that version. So these, if I decide I enjoy them, I've already read Mistborn. I'm probably going to end up getting this one in full size because I have already read it and I do remember liking it. I do plan on doing a reread hopefully at some point before the end of 2024. And then Warbreaker I've heard is really good. This is a standalone. And I've heard this is a really good Brandon Sanderson book. So I probably will end up buying these in not in mass market paperback, in full version, but we're going to go ahead and put these on the shelves even though I absolutely hate this size. Now, this is my first column. Now that I've emptied this column, I'm going to take the remaining stuff off and I'm probably going to put this is probably going to go away. I think it's dead. Like the roots are not all that, I don't think my plant's going to make it. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this off and then we're going to start moving some of my fantasy over here. So this is going to be a big move for some of these books. So I don't know what I want to do because I have a bunch of Leigh Bardugo, I have a bunch of Cassandra Clare, and then I have a bunch of Sarah J. Maas that I want to try to keep consolidated without having to break shelves. Like right now, and I'm going to have to, I know I will, but like right here I have some fiction or some fantasy here along with Cassandra Clare, and then I have Cassandra Clare along with some other books. So I would like to have them to like their own shelf so that way if Cassandra Clare or Leigh Bardugo or when Sarah J. Maas publishes new books, I already have a spot without having to like move things around. So that's going to be the challenge. So let's maybe, I don't know, this is where it's going to be hard because fantasy is where I have all of my series and I want to try to keep them together. And I just don't know what makes the most sense for that. So maybe we'll do something. I don't know what I want to do. All right, well, let me just start moving things over and then we'll see what makes the most sense. Now maybe, so I have Leigh Bardugo. I think Ninth House is gonna have another book. I think it's a trilogy, I'm not sure. But I know she just came out with The Familiar, so I don't know all the new books she's going to publish, but I do have all of this extra spot available that I can put some of her newer books. So I think my plan is maybe to leave this spot, and now we'll put Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Holly Black, and then these three, maybe we'll put those here. I do have the first book of the series. My youngest has it, so I'm not missing the original Inheritance Games. My youngest has it. So maybe we'll do that. And now I'll put Cassandra Clare on these two shelves. So let's do that. And then I'm going to see what it looks like and see if I like it. It's just so difficult because I want to make space for everything, but I don't want to make it to where it doesn't look nice. All right, so we have these three, and then I have these 6 books that I need to also keep with Cassandra Clare. So let's do, we'll just put these down here on the bottom. And I think I do eventually, I'm going to replace these hardbacks with paperback because I really do like the binding that Cassandra Clare does with her books. I like the theme. So I do plan on taking Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron, Chain of Thorns and like upgrading it or trading it in and getting this version. I just have not found the books yet. So, all right, so then we have this, and I'm gonna leave gaps because I'm gonna try to maybe put my plants or other little decorative things in these gaps. But this at least gets me started, and then it leaves me enough space that I can move things around. So, all right, so we're gonna move these up. And then once I get the fantasy done, I'll show you what everything looks like. So this is gonna be not in order exactly, but I can make these 2 shelves, or maybe, we'll have to see. But this is gonna be my Sarah J. Maas shelf, these next 2, and I think that will work the best. Okay, I like that. So I have Sarah J. Maas here, Sarah J. Maas here. I could put Crescent City up here, but I don't know how long or how big Crescent City series is going to go. I haven't even read Crescent City yet, but I have the first 2 books. That's just how I am. And so I think we're going to leave this like this. Gives me gaps, like I said. I'm okay with that. Now we're going to work on this, and we'll take these, move them down here a little bit, and then we'll kind of spread out this. Because, so my goal was I was going to have these 2 middle shelves still be my fantasy, but also kind of allow movement into romance, maybe. We will see, I don't know. Okay, all right, so we're going to take my Shatter Me, and these are all going to go down here. Again, I have the entire series and I've not read any of it. Except for, I have read book 1, sorry. I lied. I think I might just keep my plant up here because he's a tall plant, so he has to stay up here. So actually, we're gonna put him back. Put him plant back. Sorry, buddy. I moved you and you didn't need to be moved. All right, you're gonna stay. Okay. So now I have these books left, and I have 3.5 shelves left. So I need to space them out where it makes sense. I have Powerless, or what is it called? Reckless. I have Reckless too, so I might put that right here and move this down some. And then maybe just the bottom will be Fourth Wing for now. So let me step back. So that's kind of what my fantasy shelf is looking like. It's 3 shelves with a bunch of like gaps. I feel like this shelf at the bottom, like this shelf right here, is too busy because everything else has like big gaps, but that's the only one that doesn't. I feel like that's gonna throw me off a little bit, but we'll see. Maybe I'll move some up to kind of match. Yeah, we're gonna do that. All right. So let's do you there. Maybe we'll move. Okay. That's okay for now. So that's what it's looking like. I like that there's a bunch of gaps in all of the shelves because then I can add decorations and things. So that works. Now let's work on these last 2 shelves. So I'm gonna have to keep my plant here because he's really tall and I can't put him on any lower of a shelf. So I think I'm gonna keep him right here. But I'm gonna take all the decorations away just because I don't know what I'm going to put there with it. All right, I'm going to leave this shelf alone right now because I want to move all of this onto this shelf as well. So I am going to take all of my planners because these are the ones that are going to go over in my little cubby that's over behind, can't see. So we're going to put all these over there. And then all of these, I'm just going to put down on the floor because these are my current reads for the month and I don't want to get them mixed in with anything else. So the plan with this shelf is I want to take some of these bottom ones and move them over onto this shelf. I do want to keep the bottom shelf alone because that's going to be my books that I bought during that month. So I do want to have a blank shelf at the bottom just so I can have a place to store those. But the other ones, I think I'm just going to go ahead and move. I don't think I'm going to have like a current TBR shelf because I'm thinking about buying one of those little carts to kind of have all of the books that I've been eyeing that I want to read. I think I'm going to do that. So the plan is now we're just going to move things over. Alright, so I think on this shelf, I'm only going to have saving the Chloe Walsh, the Boys of Tommen series. I do have some special editions coming in, and I think there's still going to be one more book left to publish under the Boys of Tommen. So I'm going to leave this just like this. And then we have the Ruinous Love, the Brynn Weaver trilogy, and we're going to leave this on the shelf with Chloe Walsh. There is one more that's coming out in 2025, and that will kind of wrap up the series. So that's what I'm going to have on this shelf. And now we're going to do, let's see. This is where things, they got out of whack, so they're not in order. That scared me. Things keep falling. Stay. I really like the cover, so we're gonna do that. And now we'll move some of these down. And then I do have this book, but they have new covers and they're currently on Kindle Unlimited. So I think I'm gonna put this down below as an unhaul, but I am currently reading book 2, but I might, if I end up really liking the books, I might end up buying the new version of these books. So I really like the newer versions of this book. We're gonna put this down below as a unhaul. All right, so now is the tricky part because I have all of Abby Jimenez's books and then I have Jessa Hastings, the Magnolia Park series. So maybe I'm gonna move this one up here so it'll stay kind of in alphabetical order. Please. Okay, like that. And then we'll have an Abby Jimenez shelf and a Jessa Hastings shelf. No, I can't do that. We'll see what we can do. I only have 2 shelves left and I have a lot of books. Okay, so I think I have an okay layout for the romance section. So I have this one and this one. I have gaps next to Lauren Asher because I do want to get the more of the Dirty Air series. I am currently reading book 2 of the Lakefront Billionaires series, so I know she's coming out with more series there. And if I have to rearrange, I can always add the Lauren Asher up to the whatever this billionaire series is called. I can't remember what it's called. So we have that shelf with space to go. We have this shelf has space to go because like Hannah Grace has Icebreaker, and then Daydream is coming out soon. So I've already read Icebreaker, I just don't have it, but that will expand. I do want to get some more Catherine Center books, so I'll have space to expand that with her books. Then down on this shelf we have Jessa Hastings, which I do have Magnolia Park. That's one of the books that I don't want to read in June. It's a reread. We have that. We do have some Allie Hazelwood along with Emily Henry. So that could always move around because there's really not a lot of room on that shelf. So that's going to be the one that might have more work to do, along with this bottom shelf, because we have some other books at the very end which might end up unhauling if I read them and don't like them. I don't really have strong feelings whether I think I'm gonna like them or not. So these 4 books might be unhauled at one point or another. Just like I might end up unhauling the Talia Hibbert books, because while they were good, the Get a Life Chloe Brown and Take a Hint Danny Brown, while they were good, they weren't like some of my favorites. So those 2 might also be unhauled. So that will free up space on both of those shelves. And then we have the Anna Huang. I don't know if I'm going to get any more of her books. Her books are also on Kindle Unlimited, so I don't really know if I want to buy a hard copy of the books when they're going to be free on Kindle Unlimited. So, but if not, or if I do end up buying them, I can always stack them on top of the Twisted series. And then we have all of Abby Jimenez. There's only like a very small amount left, and I know she's already got a book in the works, I think, for next year, maybe. So that will need some work because I don't really have a lot of space on that shelf. Up top, we have some Lauren Asher, some dark romance that I don't know if I'm going to keep or not. There's also a couple of other books in there that I don't know if I'm going to keep. There is Lynn Painter, which I do have her new book coming out soon that I will be bought, or I might have already pre-ordered. I'm not sure, but that's going to have a little bit more books to it. But I think I'm also going to unhaul some of those books because I don't really have strong feelings one way or the other whether I'm going to like them or not. Then we have Lucy's Score, Elsie's Silver, and then a couple of other little miscellaneous books on this shelf. And then we have the Boys of Tommen series, the Ruinous Love trilogy, and then we have one book that I read by Rebecca Yarros that infuriates me. If you've read The Lost Letter, tell me if the last 80% of that book was necessary. It was not, in my humble opinion. It added trauma that was not needed. As you can see, I read this book months ago and I'm still pissed off about it. So if you have not read it, you should read it, but stop at 80%. Just stop, unless you want to put yourself through torture. And in which case, go ahead and read it. And if you do that, let me know what you think, because I hated it. So that gives enough space on that book or that shelf, and then we still have the bottom shelf for like the books that I bought and all that. And I'm gonna have this little cubby or this little section at the bottom in the like on the carpet. That's gonna be like my unhaul. I just kind of start shoving books down there that I don't want to keep. So that is kind of the plans for the bookshelf now. Now I'm going to go in really quickly, put some of the other like decorations and things that I took down. We're gonna put them back, and hopefully that will kind of free up and make it look a little bit prettier. So that is the last step. So let's do that now. Okay, so I think we are done for now. I don't hate it. I think it's just I need to get used to it. So we'll see how it goes. But we have this shelf right here is now the classics, fiction, sci-fi, middle grade, Brandon Sanderson, all of that. So this is kind of I don't read these books very often, so I'm probably not going to pick them very much. So that's this column. This column starts the fantasy. So we have at the very top, we have the Lee Bardugos. We have some other little miscellaneous ones. And then we have Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Holly Black, some other little fantasy. And then we have 2 shelves of Cassandra Clare with enough space that I can add to as if she makes new books. And then we have up top some Hunger Games, other miscellaneous books, Stephanie Garber. We have this shelf is just kind of a miscellaneous hodgepodge of different fantasy books with space to add more. And then we have the beginning of the Sarah J. Maas. I do want to get some bookshelf decor of dragons or something like that to put right here in these 2 spots to kind of fill them up a little bit more. But we do have Sarah J. Maas. And then at the bottom we have Shatter Me, along with some other books that are fantasy. And then we have at the very top over here is my snake plants. And then we have some Stephanie Meyer, some other books. I don't know if I'm going to end up, you can't see. I read the Cinder book and I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. So I have 4 of their books that in that series. I don't know if I'm going to keep them. We're going to read Scarlet and see how that goes. And if I do not care for it, then that's going to be an unhaul. Then we have on this shelf, we have some Karen McManus, some other little miscellaneous books with space to share or space to grow. And then we have Powerful series. We have Divine Rivals. I do have Ruthless Vows. That's one of the books that I will be adding, or I'm going to be reading it in June. So that's going to be going in this book or that shelf. And then we have Fourth Wing, which obviously we're going to add to as new books come out. And I do want to have some decor to put in on this shelf for Fourth Wing. And then we start our romance shelf. So we have miscellaneous romance. We have Lauren Asher series, which that is going to be expanded. I do, like I said, want to get the Dirty Air books. And then the Lakefront Billionaires series is going on right now. And we have miscellaneous romance with Catherine Center, some Jenny Han. And then we have Jessa Hastings with Magnolia Parks, Allie Hazelwood, and Emily Henry. And then this bottom row, or bottom shelf, we have other romance along with Anna Huang and Abby Jimenez. And then, like I said, this down here is going to be my little unhaul section. And then the last shelf, another little plant that I can't put anywhere because he's too big. And then we have some Christina Lauren, Lynn Painter, some other miscellaneous romance. We have Lucy Score, Elsie Silver, and then this other shelf right here is Boys of Tommen, The Ruinous Love, and Space to Grow. And then this is my bottom shelf, which is, like I said, going to be all of the books that I bought during the month. So that's my bookshelf. Okay, so the only other things that I do have, which you cannot see because they're over here next to my couch, those are my planners, those are like my washi tapes, and then I have my pens for my planner. All of those I think are going to go over in the cube over there. So I'm not going to show it because it just has just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff that really needs to be cleaned out anyways. So all of those are going to go over there. The only other thing that I really don't know where I want to put is my headphones, because I do like to wear those whenever I'm reading or listening to an audiobook, and then also while I'm editing. So I do want to have them close by because my laptop is right here and that's where I do my editing. So I don't want to have them too far away, so that way I can easily grab them. So I do need to find a place to put that. I might end up just putting it down on the shelf for books, like the books that I bought during the month. I might just put it there just to store it, and then I can figure out what to do with it if it gets too full. So that, I think that's gonna be my video. I have been wanting to do this because I have been running out of space for a while, and I wanted to get it reorganized, and I think I like the way it is now. It gives me plenty of space to add more books. It also has a lot of space for me to add like decor and like little knickknacks here and there to kind of fit in with all the different sections. So, you know, fantasy, I can add little dragons, or I can add, you know, different things like that. Romance, I can add little hearts, or like the little, I know there's a like a sculpture, not a sculpture, there's something on Amazon that's got like the little hand heart. I can always put over there for the romance section. So there's different things that I'm able to now buy and find a place to put on my bookshelf. So I like it. We'll see how long it lasts. Anytime you do something and it's a change, I don't know how much it works or how much I'm gonna like it. So, but with that, my battery's about to die. So thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please make sure you do so. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!